There was a slight hiccup here. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Just give me a second.
Sure.
Okay. I did close out, but let me just see. Okay. I do have that we are live, but okay. Okay. So still getting back in the swing here. David Kirsten with Quantum Leap, and we're actually going to have Corey join us for the second segment. He was coming back from a concert in Arizona. Robert Walters, I believe, with the Wall. He was out there in Phoenix just for the night, so just flying back in. And I'm great pleasure to introduce Nancy Williams, who we've had on the broadcast before, and really does some interesting advertising around Oakland, and she's also an expert in franchise businesses. So great to have you back, Nancy. And I'm going to actually let you introduce yourself because you have a lot of different things that you do, and I want to kind of get the current update about you and Money Pages. And I heard that just before you came on, you said you were had changed the distribution a little bit on Money Pages. So if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about you and Money Pages.
Yeah, it's great to be back on Quantum Leap. It's always fun. Sorry we're going to miss Corey, but I'm glad he had a chance to get away. I know how that can be. And just really grateful to be here. So yes, I am the local franchise owner here of Oakland for Money Pages. And we are a full service marketing business. So our flagship product is a local marketing magazine that mails to over 50,000 households in Oakland every month. And I am also, as you said, I've been a certified franchise consultant for the last 7 years. So my firm does particularly specialize in helping women and people of color purchase franchises across the United States and in a few other countries. So, I consider myself all things franchising. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, you'll see, really, I have a broad category of both franchise sales and marketing. So that's what we do here.
Beautiful. And I know we've talked about Money Pages before. I'm really impressed what you've done with the magazine. You've really turned it into one of the premier advertising publications in the East Bay area. And you offer digital and print advertising. I know most people know Money Pages for the print, but you do some digital advertising, which we're going to go into. I did want to just first, before we dive in a little bit more about Money Pages, if you could just, I always love talking to you about this current situation in the local economy, coming out of the pandemic. What are you seeing out there in the business environment in terms of small business and the kind of the need for advertising in the East Bay right now?
Well, has it changed, I think, since the last time we spoke. I think everybody is being impacted by what's going on and just the larger economy, and it's certainly impacting Oakland here locally. So we know that interest rates have risen, so the real estate market, that's impacted it tremendously. We also see inflation growing, and we also see things like gas prices going up, and it's been challenging for business owners. And we still have that ongoing issue of hiring and just, again, some of those other challenges that pretty much everyone is seeing. So in terms of advertising, it's gotten interesting because a lot of businesses that did extremely well during the COVID pandemic are now starting to see significant slowdowns due to some of the things that I've mentioned, as well as folks are shifting what they were spending on during COVID, and then also a slow time. So for some of these businesses, they really boom in the spring and the summer. Businesses like moving companies companies. And now they're seeing, as I said, a significant slowdown. So that's good news for us. And we're getting more calls, more seasonal calls from those types of businesses. Also businesses, of course, our two biggest issues are coming up, our November, December issue for the holidays. So we've got a lot of health and wellness businesses that do really well during those times. So we're getting a lot of calls from them. But the overall news is that our calls are increasing, which means that business is starting to build back up. They realize they need to get out there and advertise. I've had some businesses tell me, you know, they're sorry that they waited so long to advertise, because I think they were, you know, prospering from a lot of things that were happening during COVID, and they just, you know, completely stopped advertising, and now their funnel is dry. And so had they continued to advertise even through the good times, which is absolutely what we recommend, they would probably have more, you know, in their sales funnel or their customer base. So we encourage everyone to continue their advertising. Cutting your advertising is not a good idea. You always want to stay top of mind with consumers, but we're seeing that 2023 is going to be a good year for advertising and businesses sort of getting back out there and getting their name recognition by the consumers.
Great. And I do love those holiday issues. I saw just the cover for the Halloween edition, very festive. And I always highly recommend you to people who I think would be a good fit. And I have kind of my own category for really, I think, you know, small business owners who want to kind of create a buzz or a splash out there in the community. There's really no other outlet that kind of can do what Money Pages can do in terms of the notoriety, you know, the exposure, and then the connection to their ideal clients. But who do you usually look for as your criteria for kind of an ideal client in terms of a small business or a restaurant? Or do you kind of have specific categories that you look at, or how would you describe your kind of ideal candidate for Money Pages?
We do. So there's a lot packed in there. So yes, as you mentioned, we just launched our October issue, and we are excited to partner again with the Piedmont Avenue Pumpkin Patch, the only pumpkin patch in Oakland, and they've been around for 27 years. And they are the perfect example of the clients that we love to see. While our magazine really is for businesses that want to continue to stay top of mind month after month with our readers, the Piedmont Pumpkin Patch is really just open, you know, in October, right? They're there for Halloween to sell pumpkins and decorations and costumes. And so it's just a really great way for them to get out in front of the community, say, we're here, we're open for the next 30 days, come and enjoy. They also deliver decorations, which is really fantastic. But the fact that they've come back 2 years in a row, I think is a great testimony to what Money Pages has done for their business. And I think it's a good example for others. You also mentioned digital. Yes, we are, again, full service. Our flagship is the magazine. The reason the flagship is a magazine is because it's a differentiator. There's lots of digital advertising going on. There's just not a lot of direct mail print. And we like to say we are a forced impression, because we do have a very tight relationship with the United States Post Office, and they deliver our magazine right into mailboxes, you know, the first week of every month. And so there's no subscription. So it's basically, it comes into your home, you haven't subscribed to it. So pretty much you're going to see that front cover or back cover, however it lands. And we like to make it enticing enough and exciting enough that you'll flip through it and look at our other offers from our advertisers. And, you know, actually October is our 2-year anniversary. So we've been here for a while, and we made it through COVID. So things are here to stay. But yeah, and then as you mentioned at the top of the podcast, we have made changes to our distribution. So being in business for 2 years, we've had an opportunity to pull in some insights from, who our advertisers are and who are spending on our advertisers. And we noticed that the Oakland Hills really is, the demographic that is both reading and taking advantage of, events and offers or coupon offers by our clients. So starting October 1st, we now mail exclusively to the Oakland Hills. We will be saturating the hills. We are saturating the hills by 75%. So it's a, 3 out of 4 homes in the Oakland Hills will be getting this magazine starting this month. So really excited about that. If you have a business that particularly is in home improvement, health and wellness, and restaurants, those are what people are looking for to spend their discretionary incomes on. They're always doing something to their home, whether it's new or maintenance. Everyone's looking for, our number one target reader is our women in their 40s. They usually pick up the mail. They're looking for things for their family. So obviously health and wellness, massage therapy, and hair care, eyelashes, all of those sorts of things, are in the magazine. And then of course, who doesn't want a great meal? And Oakland has such great restaurants, very competitive. And if you own a restaurant, you really need to do something to stand out from the crowd to get folks to come in and change their spending habits from where they're used to going. So those really are our top clients.
Great. And my favorite advertising adage comes from my 16-year-old daughter, who said, if you don't look at the advertising, you don't know what's going on. And I feel like that's so true for Money Pages, that you don't really know what's going on in Oakland unless you pick
Agreed.
up a copy of Money Pages, because you have those special events, like the marathon or whatever
Exactly.
is a special thing going on is on the cover of Money Pages, more often than not, I would say.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's really, we do obviously, businesses we've had on the cover, restaurants particularly, but we do love to feature events, not only because it's a way to keep the community connected, but just as you said, you just don't necessarily know what's going on. Maybe you didn't go online to look at all the things happening in Oakland, or you didn't happen to see a digital ad, and it's kind of there in your face and you go, oh yeah, that's right, I wanted to go to that. So we like to feature a lot of free concerts around town, but just events that are happening, ticketed or free. It's a great way to keep the community connected.
Great. And I did want to just ask you a question about Oakland Rotary, since we're both in Oakland Rotary. We're also both in BNI as well. But as a small business owner and a member of, the Oakland community, how has your experience been in Oakland Rotary number 3?
It's been amazing, actually. I can't say enough about the Rotary itself and what it does for the community and frankly, all over the world. But personally, I have met a number of incredible people, incredible business owners and community members, and it has just allowed me to do a lot of things that coming from the corporate world that I used to do, but as a small business owner, you don't really have that network in order to do certain things. So last week and again this week, I had the pleasure for the first time of serving meals and groceries and produce to students at Laney College. And it was an amazing turnout. I don't know how many, how many baskets we gave away, but fresh produce and canned goods and lunches. And Rotary does that every Wednesday at 10 a.m. at Laney for the Laney, enrolled students. So I used to do that again a lot in corporate. That was something that I had my team that I managed do, and it was so fulfilling to get back to that. So that has been wonderful. The work, I'm on a couple of committees in Rotary, so diversity, equity, and inclusion has been phenomenal. It's always great to talk about that subject, and I was afforded the opportunity just a few weeks ago to interview Kate Schatz at one of our weekly meetings, who has just an incredible workbook about race and racism, and it was just really great to read the book, interact with her, and then share it with Rotary and everyone that was watching. And then being part of membership as well as a business development, those go hand in hand. And it's just all the events that we've done and the people that we've brought into Rotary. It's just been a real fulfilling experience. So, Rotary is one of those things where you can spend as much time or as little time as you have to devote, but it has so much to offer for everyone.
Thank you. And if folks are interested in Rotary, feel free to reach out to Nancy or I. We are on the membership committee. And I really appreciate you being a great colleague in Rotary. I just wanted to close with what you might have available still in the holiday season. If a business owner is saying, hey, I want to try Money Pages, what editions are open right now, and who are you looking for to fill the magazine in the next couple months?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. So we are growing the publication and the amount of pages. So we are definitely looking for partners that want to be with us for 6 months or beyond. Because again, based on our information, Money Pages has actually been around for 20 years. So we've got a lot of data on what works in terms of types of ads, how long they have to run, et cetera, based on the sector that the business is in. So we are looking for, people that are committed and want their business seen every month. And so we're looking for people that understand the importance of marketing. Again, those categories that I talked about, restaurants, home improvement, health and wellness, they do really well in the publication. So those are what we're looking for. It's a great time for restaurants, health and wellness, catering, fashion, because those are all places that people look to get gifts for Christmas, flowers, those sorts of things. They're all in the magazine. So again, those are the partners that we are looking for. We've already sold our November cover, and October just came out. We do have availability on our December cover. We do have some interest in it, but if that's something that you'd like to really make a big splash, we'd love to talk to you about what that looks like. And just, I always like to say that, we're here to help build community and help build business. So, a lot of people say, I just can't afford that. No way. Talk to us. We try to work with everyone. Again, we are really about small business. So, don't cut yourself off from something, a really great gift. If you think you may not be able to afford it, it's worth a conversation, and we'd love to work with you if we can.
Great, thank you. And I just wanted to close with a quick note about our B&I too, that I'm actually the district director for Visions of Exchange, which is our a B&I networking chapter in Oakland, a leading chapter for small business. Could you just tell us a little bit about that group and who you might want to have visit there on Thursday mornings at 7 a.m.?
Yes, another question we love. So I discovered BNI 6 or 7 years ago when I started my first business. Again, coming out of corporate, you have no idea what small business owners are doing or how they gather and how they help each other. And BNI, Business Network International, is one of those incredible organizations and opportunities for business owners, whether you've been in business for 20 years or you're just getting started. So we meet every week. Once a week we meet in person. My chapter is Visions of Exchange. It meets on Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. at the Sound Room on Broadway. But every other meeting during the month is on Zoom. So it's a great opportunity to come and visit. We are looking for business attorneys. We are looking for home improvement. We are looking for caterers. So we've got lots of great categories open. Health and wellness, again, is another area in our chapter, particularly that we would like to build out. But my encouragement is, if you are a small business owner looking to grow your business in a unique way through networking, there's no better opportunity than BNI.
Well put. I couldn't have put it better myself. And I look forward to seeing you at BNI soon. And with that, we'll close out, and I'll see you soon.
Great. Thank you again for having me. Look forward to next time.
Thank you.